Our top story this hour, it's Freedom Day in England as the country sees an end to lockdown restrictions after more than a year. But with cases surging, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has urged the public to remain cautious. Via video on Twitter, Johnson said that this was the right moment to unlock since the virus might have an advantage in colder months. This as the Prime Minister himself remains in isolation after UK's Health Minister contracted the virus.
We're doing a big opening up, and that's quite right. If we don't do it now, then we'll be opening up in the autumn, the winter months, when the virus has the advantage of the cold weather. We lose the precious fire break that we get with the school holidays. If we don't do it now, we've got to ask ourselves, when will we ever do it? So this is the right moment, but we've got to do it cautiously. We've got to remember that this virus is sadly still out there. Cases are rising. We can see the extreme contagiousness of the Delta variant, but we have this immense consolation and satisfaction that there is no doubt at all that the vaccine program, the massive vaccination program, has very severely weakened the link between infection and hospitalization, and between infection and serious illness and death. And that is the vital thing. So please, please, please be cautious.
From today onwards, there will be no limits on how many people can meet, or face masks are not required by law, though they will be recommended in some places. Nightclubs will reopen, as will pubs and restaurants at full capacity. There will be no limits to guests at weddings and funerals or sporting events, theatres and cinema. On travel, the guidance recommending travel to AMBList countries will also be removed. Adults who are fully vaccinated will not have to self-isolate when returning from countries, with an exception for those returning from France. Contact tracing and self-isolation requirements, however, will remain in place. From August 16th, people who've had both their vaccines in England will no longer have to self-isolate after coming into close contact with someone who does test positive, though anyone testing positive or develop symptoms will still need to do so. Prime Minister Johnson is hoping that the high level of inoculation will reduce the intensity of COVID-19, leading to less hospitalizations and deaths. At least 87% of adults in the UK have had at least one vaccination dose, and over 68% of the adults are fully vaccinated. Scientists, however, have warned that as the country unlocks, cases could rise to 200,000 daily later in the summer. UK is currently reporting a surge in cases, about 50,000 a day, numbers the country hasn't seen since the past 6 months. Meanwhile, Scotland is easing restrictions as well, though not to the extent of England. Pubs and restaurants will remain open until midnight, but limits to outdoor meetings do remain in place and face masks continue to be compulsory. Restrictions are also set to be relaxed in Wales from 7th of August onwards. The UK government hopes to speed up country's economic recovery by easing restrictions fully after it suffered one of the biggest hits from the pandemic last year. Thousands of infections being reported daily. It is yet to be seen whether this aim will be fulfilled. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.